Welcome to Pick a Card, Any Card.
Where we pick a card.
Any card.
Oh, crap. I fucked that. Well, I read and I'm like, all right, go on. Wait. I just reading off the script as opposed to going through it as I know it. So this is your fault.
It's not my fault for not having I have the script. We've been doing this for like 30 weeks.
Excuse me, we've been doing this for 18 weeks.
No, this is 19.
You're right, because 17 is getting published.
And I uploaded 19 yesterday to Docs.
So it's...
No, sorry, I uploaded 18 yesterday to Docs.
And copy the spell and targeting all of our own creatures.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm Devin.
Today's cards are Mirrorwind Dragon.
And Diaochan. Artistic Beauty.
Artful Beauty.
Artful Beauty, damn it. This is why you put it up there.
I was going to, I forgot. Do we want to scrap this and try it again?
No.
Okay.
We're keeping this.
Alright.
For not starting over the thing earlier, I'm making you keep this.
Fair enough. This isn't close to it.
Yeah. So, this week on last week's card...
this week on yesterday.
Did you not put up any notes?
No. I'm gonna do another deck tech. This is what I do when I forget things.
Okay.
Or don't have time for things.
I.e., you're just gonna make it up. I guess it works.
It's not made up. I already had the deck.
I guess.
I just didn't have time. Well, I guess I had time yesterday and did. Let's ignore this.
How dare you.
Mirrorwind Dragon.
We actually both technically picked this card.
Yeah, it was a card that I wanted to do, but I didn't write down in my little list of things.
And I texted Colby and I'm like, so what card should I do today? Should I do Mirrorwind Dragon or Diaochan? He's like, well, I always wanted to do Mirrorwind Dragon, so I'll take Dragon and you can do Diaochan. I'm like, well, perfect.
We can kill two birds with one stone.
Well, I'm also essentially doing 2 cards this week, which actually isn't a good thing due to the fact that I'm running low on red cards.
There will always be more red cards.
That is true. There's one thing I noticed about red by doing this. There are... Now hold off. Don't react immediately when I say this. There are not very many interesting red cards.
Yeah. But the ones that are interesting are interesting.
They're either interesting, but also the thing about red is a numbers game. You know,
That's
like
fair.
You don't have like one red card that interacts with all the rest of your cards in a way that makes that one red card super, super good.
Right.
You have a bunch of red cards that work together.
Yeah.
In a cohesive unit. Exceptions to those rules are Mirrorwind Dragon and Diaochan, but still.
Right, yeah, no, it's definitely a game of exceptions, because you're right. For every lightning bolt, there's 30 more lightning bolts and 1 Mirrorwind Dragon.
Yeah. I think the way you wanted to say that sentence was, for every Mirrorwind Dragon, there's a billion lightning bolts.
Yeah, but I didn't think that sentence through before I said it.
That's fair.
This is the problem with not having a script.
Yeah, you're a red player. I understand. You just kind of don't think, you just...
Look, there's a lot of thought that goes into burning things.
Yeah, but usually it goes through the opponent.
Like, which is the most efficient way to start this fire? And then you do that. Never mind. Let's go back to talking about the card.
Yeah, Mirrorwind Dragon.
Mirrorwind Dragon is 5 mana, 3 generic, and 2 red for a 4/5 dragon with flying, as most dragons have.
Surprise.
Whenever
He's one of the few dragons who doesn't have the same power and toughness. And even fewer dragons who has less power than toughness.
Yeah, most dragons have...
Either the same or more power.
Right.
They're all in that beatdown as dragons.
So... his second ability is, whenever a player casts an instant or sorcery spell that targets only Mirrorwind Dragon, that player copies that spell for each other creature he or she controls that the spell could target. Each copy targets a different one of those creatures.
That bit. You very clearly forgot that it was a sentence and then just kind of added that on to the end of the sentence.
Well, I forgot there was more to that sentence.
Yeah.
And
I'm giving you shit not because you fucked it up, but you fucked up in exactly the same way I would have if I would have read it.
Yeah.
But I didn't read it.
So, this is kind of a complex ability. Basically what happens
it raises a lot of questions when you try to do something.
Right.
It's essentially Precursor Golem, except fix, and I will go into that later. So go ahead and explain the rulings that you want.
So, when you cast a spell, and this spell has to only target Mirrorwind Dragon. Now, if you have a spell that targets up to 2, 3, 4, however many creatures, and you only pick one target, and that target is Mirrorwind Dragon's ability does trigger.
Mm-hmm.
If you pick more than one target, Mirrorwind's ability doesn't trigger because it is an intervening if clause.
Yeah.
So, The one that comes to mind right off the top of my head is Warrior's Lesson. Up to 2 target creatures get whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card.
Yeah.
Up to 2. If you target only Mirrorwing Dragon and you've got 2 creatures out, you effectively get the same effect.
Yeah. Just don't target the second.
Right.
Well, technically, if you have 2, you do want to go for the Mirrorwing Dragon, because that way they can only counter one of them.
Right. Yeah, it's usually better to act...
Of course, if they counter it in response to Mirrorwing Dragon's...
No, because Mirrorwing Dragon's ability will trigger and go on the stack.
Yeah.
And if they counter that spell, the Mirrorwing's ability will resolve.
No, it won't, because he can't...
I don't remember where we were, but that's
so
fine.
after a brief looking into the rules, we are pretty sure we're right. We didn't find a direct ruling, not in the rules or anything. We found a post online in a forum that, yes, if a spell is no longer on the stack to be copied, it cannot be copied, and the ability will just fizzle.
Right. But there are some other like minutia that go into this. So not only if you cast something that copies all, if you cast a spell that targets only Mirrorwing Dragon, it copies it for all of your creatures that it could copy it for. So if you have something with Shroud, or actually no, Hexproof would work. But if you have something with Shroud, that creature is completely ignored by this ability.
Yes.
So it doesn't get an extra copy that can't. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
The other thing is these copies are created on the stack. They are not cast. So anything that triggers when you cast a spell does not trigger upon Mirrorwing Dragon's resolution.
Correct.
And the third part is that if your opponent casts something that targets Mirrorwing Dragon, it copies it for everything that player controls.
Which is both good and bad.
Right. If they're trying to Doomblade your Mirrorwing and they've got creatures on the board, they've just hosed themselves. If they're trying to Giant Growth your Mirrorwing and they've got creatures on board, well, they may have just hosed you.
Yeah.
So, you mentioned Precursor Golem.
Yes, I do. And I want to talk a little bit about the difference between it and Precursor. So, Precursor Golem is a 5-mana artifact. So, converted mana cost is the same. He's an artifact creature golem. He says when he enters the battlefield, put 2 3/3 colorless golem creature tokens on the battlefield. He himself is a 3/3 colorless creature golem.
Basically, he just triples himself.
Yeah, he makes 3 of himself. His other ability is, whenever a player casts an instant or sorcery spell that targets only a single golem, that player copies the spell for each other golem that spell could target. Each copy targets a different one of those. So it's essentially the same, but the difference being if your opponent goes to Doomblade him,
it Doomblades all of yours.
It Doomblades all of your golems.
Actually, all golems ever. Yeah. So if you're playing a multiplayer game and all of you are running golems,
every golem gets dead.
You've essentially damnation to the whole board.
Is there a card that makes all creatures of a chosen type?
I don't know. I know
something like Xenograph or something like that.
Well,
Xenograph does something like that.
If any of the creatures are changelings, they get gone because they are all creature types.
They are also golems. Not like a Mutavault that happens to be on field is technically a golem. Anyway, so yeah. On one hand, I love Precursor Golem.
No, I remember you built a deck around it.
I've built 2 decks essentially. So, there's my original one. Well, that was a Splicer deck that had a bunch of golems and a Precursor Golem in there. For funsies, because it worked, and I love Precursor Golem. And I did deck tech one, but I never actually built it.
So maybe an episode on Precursor Golem at some point.
Maybe someday.
It'd be remarkably similar to this one.
It will. So I actually probably won't. Actually, no, because my build was green blue. Yeah. The whole point of the Precursor Golem deck was I would copy Precursor Golem,
right?
And so that way I'd copy a bunch. And then you'd have multiple Precursor Golems themselves. So, like, I copy 1, but I have 3 Precursor Golems and, 6 other normal Golems. 4 copies of that spell on each Golem.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm not doing anything so crazy.
Yeah.
So, like I may or may not have mentioned earlier, I'm going to do a little bit of a deck tech. I've teched this deck together, and unlike my last deck tech, which I just sort of talked about some highlighted cards, I'm actually going to talk about each card that I put in this deck, why I put it in the deck, excluding lands, because your land base can be basically whatever you want it to.
That is true.
Put it together on a budget, or don't. Whichever one you prefer.
Makes sense. Real quick, one more thing about Precursor Golem. Not really about Precursor Golem, but the difference between Precursor Golem and Mirrorwing Dragon. On one hand, you think, well, Precursor Golem can Doomblade and wipe your entire field, as we mentioned. Mirrorwing Dragon can't. It only it only Doom Blades the dragon.
Right.
So you would think, oh, well, Mirrorwing Dragon is strictly better.
You would think that.
You would think that. But the reason I am fine with Mirrorwing Dragon is the fact that since he's not only red, but double red,
right.
He's only red. You have to be in red.
Yes.
As opposed to Precursor Golem, who is weaker because he's universal.
But you can be in any color.
Yeah, any color whatsoever. Like I said, blue-green. Can't run Mirrorwing Dragon in a blue-green deck. You'd have to splash red. And not only splash red, but have to do hard red because it's double red.
And yeah, it would be trickier to fit him into a blue-green deck.
Yeah, which is why I'm fine with them making a better version of Precursor Golem. Because they made it more restrictive. They didn't do what they did to M15 Slivers.
Right.
Where they just made them strictly better.
Which,
even though they are
in
less
my opinion,
fun, less interesting.
There it is.
Better.
Yeah, they're less fun. It's much less fun to try and build a sliver deck.
Remember back in the day when we used to make jokes about two sliver decks would go against each other and it would just be total chaos?
Yeah.
Remember when that joke was funny?
Yeah, and now it's not.
Yeah.
Because it's not true anymore.
Yeah, and they didn't even make them like not as good. Like
no, they made them almost exactly as good.
They made them better. They made them way better because like there was one that was like give all slivers flying. Like that one cost like 4 mana.
Yeah.
Like they made another that gives all slivers you control flying, and he costs like 2.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's like come on, like they're just strictly better in almost every sense. Ugh.
And just less fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, back onto this deck tech. So
yeah, I said my
piece.
Yes,
made your piece.
That's the term. I've made my piece. Go ahead.
So because of Mirrorwing Dragon's rather unique way
set of skills.
Yes, it's rather unique set of skills. It puts the spells on the stack rather than you cast them. I threw in Wild Defiance and made this red-green. We've talked about Wild Defiance before.
It was my card, too.
It was.
So this is a weird bonding moment.
It is.
Like, our cards are coming together and making one deck. It's like a marriage.
Like that, but different.
But very different.
So, Wild Defiance is 2 generic and a green for an enchantment. Whenever a creature you control becomes the target of an instant or sorcery spell, that creature gets +3/+3 until end of turn. The important part here is it doesn't say when you cast something that targets.
Yeah.
It's when it becomes the target. So, when you hit Mirrorwing Dragon, if you've got multiple creatures out, Mirrorwing Dragon copies it, and Wild Defiance kicks for Mirrorwing Dragon because you targeted it.
Yep.
And for everything that got targeted. So everything's just gonna get buff.
Big.
There's one other creature that I run, or there's a creature that I run that gives a very similar ability. There's another creature that I run now that has a similar when becomes the target of rather than when you cast something that targets, and that is Silver for Partisan, which has the same mana cost as Wild Defiance, 2 generic and a green, for a 2/2 creature wolf warrior with trample. And its ability reads, whenever a wolf or werewolf you control becomes the target of an instant or sorcery spell, create a 2/2 green wolf creature token. Now, this plus the fact that I am in red and green is the entire reason this is effectively a werewolf deck.
Essentially.
I've named it Mirrorwolf Dragoons.
Okay.
Because
I would have named it Mirror Wolves, but okay.
I liked Dragoons. It's like they're warriors.
Okay, I see your point, but I just like Mirror Wolves better.
I was trying to be
Mirror Fangs?
Fangs. I went through several
Mirror
iterations.
Pack.
I like that one. Name pending. So
Werewing.
that could work. Except not all of them are werewolves.
That's true, they're just wolves. I think like almost all of them are wolves. Other than the fact that you're running werewolves just because it fits.
Right. So Silver for Partisan creates wolves, which means every time you hit Mirrorwing Dragon, it copies for all of the creatures. Most of your creatures are either wolves or werewolves, which means you get a token for each creature that was targeted.
Yep.
Except for Mirrorwing Dragon. Plus all the creatures that were targeted are getting +3/+3. So, really big, really lot of creatures.
And it could be instants, so you can just run them on your turn.
Yeah.
Or, on your opponent's turn is what I meant. And so just like I swing with a 5/5, it's like, cool. I pump my one wolf guy, making a 2/2.
And then jump block.
Hold on. How would the stack work? If you have Mirrorwing Dragon. Yeah, if you have Mirrorwing Dragon, Wild Defiance, and the wolf out. So,
Happy Path.
Yeah, you have all 3 of them. They have a magical Christmas line, one could say. Turn 3, a turn 4, and a turn 5. Your opponent's like, cool, swing my 5/5. It's like, alright, I cast Titanic Growth, because I did some quick math in my head.
So that's 2 mana.
2
Target Mirrorwind Dragon.
Target Mirrorwing Dragon.
That means
Mirrorwing Dragon and Wild Defiance would trigger.
They both go on the stack.
And you'd put them on the stack so that way they would resolve in the order of...
Mirrorwing Dragon first, Mirrorwing Dragon
all three
first.
would go on the battle. All three would trigger at the same time.
No. Silver Fur Partisan doesn't trigger yet, because it has not been targeted yet. So you want Wild Defiance, Mirrorwing Dragon. Mirrorwing Dragon resolves, targeting the Silver Fur.
Yep.
Silver Fur's ability goes on the stack on top of Wild Defiance. Then Wild Defiance goes on the stack on top of... Actually, no. Silver Fur and Wild Defiance both go on the stack at the same time.
Well,
so you pick.
They trigger at the same time.
So you say Wild Defiance, then Silver Fur.
Yep.
So that Silver Fur resolves first, giving you a wolf token. Wild Defiance resolves, giving Silver Fur Partisan +3/+3.
Yep.
Then the first trigger of Wild Defiance resolves, giving Mirrorwing Dragon +3/+3.
Yep.
And I guess the spells, the
you,
Titanic Growth would have resolved in there somewhere.
The Titanic Resolve would resolve then.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the copy resolved before that.
Yeah. In my head, I was like, oh yeah, because you'll get the wolf. I was saying if you copied Mirrorwing Dragon, you would get the wolf. You'd be able to get the wolf and then get the Titanic Growth on the token.
Right.
But you can't because Dragon has to be a wolf and he's done.
But
nonetheless, you did just pump your Silver Fur +6/+6, so then you just eat
it's more than that.
Eat his 5/5.
It's 7. Titanic Growth is +4/+4.
Oh, and the 2 Wild Defiances.
And the 2 there's 1 Wild Defiance that went on the stack for him.
Oh yeah, 1 for him. So +6, +7.
+7/+7.
So he's a 9/9 trample.
You have a Mirrorwing Dragon that just got +7/+7. So he is a 11/12. 11/12. Yeah. And then you just eat everything.
Yep. It's like, so they shouldn't have swung with that 5/5 that I mentioned.
So because I'm in red-green werewolves, I wanted to go kind of aggro. It's a little bit more mid-rangey than it is aggro, but I really wanted a 1-drop to be able to put the pressure on early. So I went with Village Messenger, which is 1 red for a 1/1 with haste. At the beginning of each upkeep, if no spells were cast last turn, transform Village Messenger, and it transforms into Moonrise Intruder, which is a 2/2 with Menace, which then will transform back if more than 2 spells were cast.
Yeah.
Now what's important is if you cast 1 spell to target Mirrorwing Dragon, the other copies aren't cast. They don't count.
Yep.
So you can actually get away with not triggering your own werewolf transformations.
That being said, if your opponent only casts 1 spell, you can't cast. If you cast another spell, you're gonna flip if you cast it on their turn.
That is true.
Because it can be from any number of players.
Yes, it doesn't matter who cast the spell. It only matters that the spell was cast.
Yeah.
Which is why I run Immerwolf in the 3-drop slot. In one of the 3-drop slots. There's a lot of 3-drops in this deck.
This is the third 3-drop we've already mentioned?
Yeah, there's 3 3-drops.
Okay, making sure you're aware.
There's an ideal order you want to get them out. You want to have Silver Fur out first, then you want to be able to get out Wild Defiance, and then you want to be able to get out the Immerwolf.
Yeah.
Unless you've already got out several werewolves, in which case you want to bump Immerwolf up in the order. But how you play it is very much reactive as to how your opponent's playing.
Yeah. In all honesty, I wouldn't be running the werewolf half of this deck. I like Silver Fur. I like him, but I wouldn't be running the who was the
Village Messenger?
I wouldn't run Village Messenger. I wouldn't run Immerwolf. I don't know who I'd run, but I'd definitely stock up on some more 2-drops.
Well, let's talk about Immerwolf, and then I'll talk about my 2-drop slot.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you had more.
So, Immerwolf is 3 mana, 1 a red and a green, for a 2/2 creature wolf with Intimidate. Can't be blocked except by artifact creatures and or creatures that share a color with it. And it has each other creature you control that's a wolf or a werewolf gets +1/+1. Non-human werewolves you control can't transform. So once they flipped, they can't flip back over.
Yep.
Until somebody tries to kill off your Immerwolf. And your Immerwolf is a little bit lower priority than killing off the Mirrorwing Dragon. Because that just ends games.
Yeah, if they kill off Mirrorwing Dragon, they kill off their team too. And that's not good.
Unless they board wipe, in which case...
Then it's a symmetrical
it's a moot
effect.
point.
It's fair, right?
Yeah. So, Immerwolf is there because... a werewolf in human form still has the subtype werewolf.
Yep.
So Immerwolf is still giving it +1/+1. So your village messenger is a 2/2 that'll flip over into a 3/3 that can't turn back.
With menace.
With menace.
And intimidate.
No, he doesn't get intimidate.
From the werewolf, or from Immerwolf.
Immerwolf doesn't give intimidate.
I could have sworn he... No, he has intimidate, but I could have sworn he also gave
he has intimidate.
Oh, you're right.
Yep. So, 2-drop slot. We're going to go back to how the curve works. You run Mayor of Averbrook.
Yes, you do.
Because why not? Other human creatures you control get +1/+1. So he's not quite as good as Immerwolf. He's only giving the human half +1/+1. But when he flips, he gives other werewolf and wolf creatures you control +1/+1. So...
And if he flips, then all the rest of your werewolves flip.
No.
Well, all your humans flip, sorry. So he's going to most likely be on the same side as everyone else.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I was going to say. When he flips, even if something else flips back, or if he comes out, he flips, and then you play another one, they're still getting the bonus.
Yeah. Well, that'd be there's no way that one of your guys is going to flip unless they have a different...
Right.
There's no way that he's going to be out and they're going to keep flipping in a way that he never buffs. Once one guy flips, they're going to be on the same side.
Right. So this plus Immerwolf just makes things much bigger.
Yeah.
So that's basically the creature base.
Yeah. I mean that's fair. I forgot that Mayor existed.
Yes.
So now that I'm like, oh yeah, Mayor, he's a good 2-drop.
It's a fantastic 2-drop.
I like where this deck is going better now.
So now you just need things to target. So let's have some fun with this. Let's Assault Strobe.
Assault Stroke works.
Assault Strobe, 1 red for a sorcery. Target creature gains double strike until end of turn.
Yep. You know what I would run instead?
What's that?
Temur Battle Rage.
Okay.
Which is very similar. It's 1 in a red, so it costs 1 more, but it's an instant.
Which
I mean, you're waiting till turn 6 to play these anyway, so 1 extra. But it gains double strike, and if you have creatures with power 4 or greater, it gives them trample.
Yeah, that would be a little bit better. I'm running Assault Strobe partially because it'll still let me keep pressure on early. So if you run this as an aggro deck, you're still attacking, you're still giving double strike early, you're killing off some creatures if you need to. Yeah. You're still pushing through damage.
I would still run a Temur Battle Rage due to the fact that it being an instant speed makes it so much more valuable.
I can see that. I try to run... So I am also running generally, I believe, 4 copies of everything. Mm-hmm. But there's a reason for that, which I'll get into later. So, obviously, Giant Growth. Because if you've got out Wild Defiance, it's 1 mana for +6/+6. That's gross.
No, you could also run...
What?
Become Immense.
You could run Become Immense.
1 mana for +10/+10 with Wild Defiance.
Yeah. You've got to delve some stuff away.
Yeah.
Which sort of...
6 things away to be...
Right. So obviously, Assault Strobe and Giant Growth are in here because they're just solid cards. They're single target, they pump something or give something extra damage in some way or another.
He's a good one.
So, just sort of continuing on that role, Titan Strength, 1 red, target creature gets +3/+1 until end of turn. Scry 1. Lets you just take a peek.
It's just slightly better than just one creature gets +3/+1.
Right. It's all your creatures get +3/+1. Scry for every creature that got targeted.
What was it? A friend at my local game store, he called it Sisyphus because the picture on the card is essentially Sisyphus.
Yeah, basically. He's rolling a boulder up a hill.
Yep.
But the important part of here is Scry 1. If you have 4 creatures out and you target just the dragon, you get to Scry 1 4 times.
Oh, yeah.
So if you don't like it, you can just throw it to the bottom.
The problem I found with scrying 1 multiple times is that if you find 1 card,
then you just ignore the rest.
Yeah, you're wasting 3 scries.
But at this point, it's not a waste. It's still 1 mana to Scry 1 4 times.
That is true.
Now we're getting into the 2 mana instant sorcery.
Of different colors. You know it's going to be good.
Colossal Might. A red and a green for an instant. Target creature gets +4/+2 and gains trample until end of turn.
Yeah, deck good.
Yeah, it is. And
it's an instant, so it gets there.
Yeah, it's an instant. So, whatever. +4/+2, Wild Defiance, so it has another 3/3. Oh look, Trample, and let's slap in an Assault Strobe, because why not?
Back when I was playing my my Splicer deck, which was essentially a Golem token, ran Precursor.
Right.
I was running green-white, because a lot of the Splicers are white. And a spell that I ran, I can't remember what it's called, it's like Apostle Sigil or something like that. It was 1 green, 1 white, instant. Target creature gets +2/+2.
Right.
And no, it was +3/+3. Sorry. +3/+3, and each other creature you control gets
Right, that would...
Yeah, and like, so it did this, it does the same, it was the same idea, except I was running Precursor Golem instead of your dragon.
Right.
But it would, if you have like 5 creatures, it would copy 5 times, give each one +8/+8.
Yeah, because that +1 just sort of shifts down the line.
Yeah. Actually, +7, whatever.
So the reason I'm running multiple copies of all of my spells is because there's two... There are 2 Pyromancer's Ascensions in the deck. So Pyromancer's Ascension is 2 mana for an enchantment, and it's one of the few things in the deck that doesn't just directly target or become a target of something. But whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that has the same name as a card in your graveyard, you may put a quest counter on Pyromancer's Ascension. So you want to throw this out as early as you can, and then just keep casting spells.
Yep.
When you cast an instant or sorcery spell while Pyromancer's Ascension has 2 or more quest counters on it, that's 2. You only need 2 quest counters. You may copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy.
Personally, I wouldn't run it, because I don't think you're running quite enough instant sorceries to make it like really worthwhile.
Well, the only reason that it's a 2 of and not a full-blown playset is because of
You only
Mirrorwind Dragon only counts being cast.
Yes.
So you can target something and copy it and still target Mirrorwind Dragon, but it doesn't trigger its ability a second time.
Yeah.
However, you can throw it on a Silver Fur Partisan to get that extra wolf, which can then sneak in under the resolution of Mirrorwind Dragon's ability.
Yeah.
Just getting a little bit more out of your pump spells.
Yeah. I can see it, but once again, like even that, like I don't think you're running quite enough instants and sorceries to make it worthwhile running that. I would rather just run another pump spell. Titanic Growth. Or Become Immense.
I mean, not counting Pyromancer's Ascension, Wild Defiance.
2, 6,
14.
Yeah.
There's probably some tweaking to be done.
Yeah. Like I don't see Pyromancer's Ascension getting or copying more than 1 spell, and I'd rather have that 1 spell be cast because it gets all those triggers.
Yeah, but being able to have that just sort of up the sleeve just in case,
I guess
it just helps push a little bit more damage through, just a touch more.
Yeah.
Now, between this and Mayor of Everbrook turn 2, Mayor of Everbrook every time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But if you need a turn 2 play,
even then you don't really play Pyromancer's Ascension turn 2. You don't play it until like you're going to follow it up with an instant.
Right.
And even then, like, you may want to already have it in the graveyard. So
at this point, you think, well, maybe it's a late game play. You play it super off curve, drop it, and then slap down an instant,
let
it resolve, and then just start stacking instants and store.
Yeah,
it's something that can be pulled out.
Yeah.
I have it in the deck that I tech together, but I think it's something that could be argued against.
You run another card.
I do run another card.
That I don't know if it'll work good in the deck or not, but I like it, so I don't care.
I think it'll work well enough.
Yeah.
So I run 2 copies of Arlen Cord.
Who's a 4-drop?
Who is a 4-drop or a planeswalker, Arlen. We haven't really talked about planeswalkers all that much here, so we've talked about Jace.
Yeah, you remember I did that entire episode on Jace, right?
Right.
I considered doing an entire episode on Chandra this time around, just how the story and the fact fun fact, there are more Chandras than there are Jaces.
There are, because Jace didn't get reprinted in this set.
Yep, he may in the next set, because he's definitely in Kaladesh now.
Well, then we'll have like 12 blue planeswalkers in the same block.
I doubt they're gonna print.
Because at this point, we have Dovin Bond. We have
Rashimi? Rashiri?
Saheeli. We know Tezzeret is on the plane. And last time we saw Tezzeret, he was blue-black. And we don't have a black planeswalker card yet.
In this set.
In this block. So he's probably going to be either mono black or blue black still.
He's probably going to be blue-black because he's an Artificer, and Artificing is definitely...
Right. I don't think he's... Like, even if he gets fully corrupted by Bolus, I don't think they're going to take blue away from him.
Well, even then, Bolus was also blue.
Fair enough. And then Jace is on the plane. So we have 4 blue planeswalkers on this plane right now.
I doubt they're going to print a Jace.
No, for sure not.
I highly doubt it.
We don't have a green planeswalker on the plane unless a
Nisa.
Johnny is... Oh, yeah, right. We do have Nisa. Yeah, we have Nisa.
Like, she's definitely there. And a Johnny may get a card. I doubt it.
If a Johnny gets a card, the question is a white again, because a Johnny has this identity crisis where he fractures off into colors and then goes back to being mono white.
Yeah.
So he's either going to be white-green still.
It made sense for red due to the fact that, like, it was rage and it was anger and whatnot. And you're like, oh, I've calmed down. I've gotten over that. That's not me anymore. Like, so he dropped it. I'm like, that's fair. That's fair, Johnny. And
now he picked up green.
Green for whatever reason.
Now he's been in every Naya color, which makes sense, because I think he's originally from Naya.
He is.
So, anyway, Arlinn Kord. So her +1 is until end of turn, up to 2 target creatures gain +2/+2 and gain vigilance until end of turn.
And haste.
Vigilance and haste. This isn't a spell, so it can't be copied by Mirrorwind Dragon.
Which is sad.
But she has a 0 ability, which says, put a 2/2 green wolf creature token onto the battlefield, transform Arlinn Kord.
Arlinn Kord.
She is the second planeswalker that...
Yep.
The first being Garruk.
Well, and the Origins 5.
Okay. She is the second planeswalker that transforms.
They enter the Origins 5 enter the battlefield. I want to point out the
they
fact that
creatures...
about 6 weeks ago we were on the exact opposite side of this argument.
They are creatures
and in the end,
that
I admitted that I was wrong. We had the exact same argument, except on the complete opposite sides.
No, it's true. But the Origin 5 are creatures and then planeswalkers on the opposite side.
Yes.
Arlinn Kord is one of 2 planeswalkers that is a planeswalker on both sides.
Okay, that is true.
She transforms into Arlinn Embraced by the Moon, who has 3 abilities. Her +1 is...
something.
Creatures you control gain +1/+1 and gain trample until end of turn. So, I would say not quite as good as her other side's +1. I think it's balanced out by the fact that she has 3 abilities.
All creatures.
That's true.
Like the first one is this one gets +2/+2 vigilance and haste. This one gets all of them give trample.
Right. She has a -1. Arlinn Embraced by the Moon deals 3 damage to target creature or player. Transform her. So she flips back. Fun fact, she's just a lightning bolt, just in creature form.
Yep.
Or in planeswalker form. We don't get that a whole lot.
Nope.
And then she has a -6 with, you get an emblem with creatures you control have haste and tap, this creature deals damage equal to its power to target creature or player. So, her 0 ability on the front side and her -6 ability on the back side are the ones you really care about.
Yeah.
Her 0 ability makes more targets for Wild Defiance and Mirrorwind Dragon. Her -6 just says, hey, tap creatures to win game.
You know what I would consider running instead? And I wouldn't blame you for saying no, solely for the fact that Arlinn's
right.
Hunt Master of the Fells, who is essentially a creature that does what she does,
Except I refuse to run Huntmaster and Immerwolf in the same deck. Because Immerwolf neuters Huntmaster.
That is true. That is very true.
And I think Immerwolf is more powerful in this deck than Huntmaster is.
No. However, I can definitely see why you're making that.
It's the extra power, toughness.
I had a gut reaction when you said Immerwolf is more powerful than Huntsmaster. It's like, no.
In this deck,
maybe?
It gives you that...
even then, like, I think of like, well, Immerwolf's a 3-drop, and you already have plenty of 3. You don't quite have enough werewolves to make it worth it.
But you do have lots of wolves.
You do have lots of wolves, and Immerwolf also gives them +1/+1.
Yes. That is why Immerwolf is in this deck.
Yeah, I'm like, so... I guess.
Global bonuses are better than more creatures, I think. Because
I guess.
Huntsmaster's only going to give you another creature once every other turn.
Only once. It's possibly every turn. Or you get one, do what she does. She flips once, get a creature, flip again. I think it does 3 damage.
Yeah.
And like essentially does her abilities, except on a creature, and can do it multiple times if your opponent like does what it needs. So you play no spells. Alright. On their turn, they play 2, or they play 1 and you cast 1.
Right.
And, like, flip back at your upkeep, their upkeep flip, my upkeep.
Yeah. I just like the idea of spreading the power out among as many creatures as possible.
That's fair.
Because if they kill the Huntsmaster, well, that game's over. if they kill the Immerwolf, well, you've still got a lot of creatures left.
You still have wolves.
So, that's my argument.
That's fair.
I can see running it the other way.
I could totally see why you want to run Arlen, because she's cooler, because one, she's a planeswalker.
And she's just fun.
And she is pretty fun.
I mean, you can pump up a creature, or flip her and give everything +1/+1 and trample for a few turns.
So I'm going to admit that I was wrong. When I first said that, when Shadows first came out, I'm like, holy crap. Arlen Cord is powerful. Holy crap, she is. Of course, I followed that up with, she's not going to get ran because green-red's not particularly good right now. But Arlen in a more aggressive meta would be.
Yeah.
But the meta was Coco.
Right.
Though green-red aggro is doing pretty well.
Well,
I think it's white-red aggro is the... White-red dwarves is actually the best deck right now.
Yeah, white-red aggro. Just Boros in general, whether it be dwarves or humans or whatever, white-red is the deck to run right now. Like, half the decks in the top 8 are white-red.
Yeah, well, it's only been like the last week. And I think I told you this last week. I don't know if I said it while recording or not. But, like, generally when, like, the deck cycles out, like Coco did,
yeah,
like, everyone doesn't really know what the best deck is, but everyone goes, well, aggro is always good. Like, aggro is always, especially in, like, a very unstable meta, like, no one knows what they're going to play, like, just go aggro and it's going to work out. Like, aggro is usually, like, the best deck for a few weeks after a significant deck rolls out. That's what happened when Devotion to Black rotated. That's what happened when I can't think of the next deck.
45 minutes. I haven't even talked about your card yet. Okay.
Well, fine. Your card is over. Let's talk about Diaochan.
All right.
The card is Diaochan, Artful Beauty. And I wanted to talk about her because in a Loading Ready Run video, when they were playing Commander, one of the guys had a Diaochan deck. And I won't say their jokes because that's their jokes. But I'm going to essentially talk about this guy's deck. And the point of the joke. So I'm going to spoil it. But whatever. Go watch their stuff. Because they're funny people.
When you upload videos, you should, like, link things.
That is true. That would be a good idea. I should have thought of that. Cut this out so I can take credit for this.
Okay.
Anyway, so, Diaochan. She is a 4-mana, 3 in a red, legendary creature, human advisor. She is a 1/1. Her ability is tap, destroy target creature of your choice, then destroy target creature of an opponent's choice. Activate this ability only during your turn before attackers are declared.
Which, relatively simple, now that there's a rota text on it.
Like, yeah, the first one was
the first
really
edition
bonkers.
was complicated.
Way back in...
Portal.
In Portal, yeah. So way back before they knew what the tap symbol was.
Yeah.
Which was a long-ass time ago.
So something I want to point out about your card is, it does say an opponent. It's an opponent's choice.
Yep.
So you're playing her as a commander.
Yep.
You play multiplayer commander games. You say, I tap her, I destroy guy number A's creature. Hey, guy number C, you pick what dies now.
Yep, guy number C.
You don't have to give it to guy number A.
You're right. Guy number A, definitely doesn't get to choose, but you do.
Yes.
And so does guy number C. And then guy letter 2 is just completely left out. He's bored.
Nobody cares about guy letter 2.
Anyway, so the reason I really like Diaochan is what you can do in the deck is you can be like, hey, guess what? I put Lightning Greaves on Diaochan. She now has Shroud. Tap Diaochan, target, destroy that creature. Hey, you, pick a creature. Logically, they would go, well, I choose Diaochan. It's like, sorry, Diaochan's got Shroud, so they have to choose another creature. Hopefully, there's only two other creatures on board, so they'll be like, I destroy your creature. Now you choose a creature, but the only other creature left is my creature. I know, right?
Doesn't that suck?
I mean, they'd choose the same creature that was dying at first anyway, so
yeah,
they
because
can do that.
Her ability doesn't specify another creature. It says, you pick a creature, and then they pick a creature.
They can be the same creature.
They can be the same creature.
Fun fact. Diaochan, when I said Lightning Greaves, and I said she has to have Shroud, it has to be Shroud. It cannot be hexproof. And the reason for that is because Diaochan's ability is controlled by you, and you are targeting.
Yes.
The opponent choosing is not targeting. They're just telling you who to target.
It's actually, you are targeting because Diaochan doesn't do the damage. Diaochan is the source of the ability. You control the ability.
Yep.
But it's not. So, like, if they have protection from creatures, it still hits them.
No, because the ability is from a creature. It's still being targeted by a creature, so you can't target it. You can't target a creature protection from.
I thought this would work similar to Tesa's ability, where if a creature deals you damage, destroy that creature, even if it has protection from creatures.
Yeah, because the ability of Tesa doesn't target. So if you have two Tesas
You're
and
right,
one
there-
swings in and hits you, your Tesa's ability would trigger, doesn't target anything,
Yeah.
and resolving.
I knew that worked for some reason. I guess it is because, it doesn't
Yeah,
target.
it doesn't target.
So
Diaochan-
Shroud and Hexproof don't matter either.
No, Tesa gets around Shroud and Hexproof. And
Just-
protection, for that matter.
Yep.
Since we were mentioning it. Speaking of Shroud and Hexproof and protection, another way to protect Diaochan from her own ability is give her protection from red.
Yeah.
If you're running her as a commander, as I'm suggesting, there's really no way to give her protection from red other than Sword of Fire and Ice and Sword of War and Peace, which are really, 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 really good and kind of expensive, and they're like $5.
They might be more than that.
When I looked at each, but I may be wrong. I don't think they're. Oh, there's also Chroma's something.
A Chroma's Memorial.
Yeah, Chroma's Memorial. That's what it's called. Chroma's Memorial also gives you protection from red.
Creatures
And
you control have flying, first strike, vigilance, trample, haste, and protection from black and from red. Ugh.
So a lot of shit.
7 mana.
Yeah. It's 7 mana for a good reason.
Because it's a lot of stuff.
Yep. I should probably run that in Narset.
So
Anyway, there's only 3 cards with a red or colorless color ID if you're running a commander that give protection. You could run things that give Shroud, in which there are also 3 more things, but all of them 4,
So you've
3.
got Whisper Silk Cloak.
which is a 3-drop, equip for 2, gives
Shroud.
it Shroud.
Can't be blocked.
Yep.
Lightning Greaves.
Haste and Shroud.
There's another set of Greaves.
You're thinking of boots. They are Swiftwood boots, but they give hexproof.
Oh, okay. Swiftfoot bits, yeah.
And then there's Cloak and Dagger,
Yes.
which is I'm surprised I've not heard of this one before. It gives it +2/+0 and has Shroud.
And a second ability, which
Yeah.
doesn't matter to you.
Yeah, I forgot about it. 'Cause it
So,
didn't matter to me.
whenever a rogue creature enters the battlefield, you may attach Cloak and Dagger to it.
Yep. I really like this card because it's literally Cloak and Dagger, gives +2/+0, Dagger, and Shroud. That's the cloak.
Yeah.
Okay, that works.
It's my magical cloak of magicalness.
If you're, there are plenty of other things you can run if you're not running this in Commander.
Yeah. For example, Cloud of the Dominus, which is
Clout.
Clout, not Cloud, which when I first heard of this card was back in college shortly after I started playing. A buddy of mine ran it in a red-blue deck, and I always heard him say Cloud of the Dominus, and then I went to go look it up later, and I was like, this card doesn't exist. But Clout of the Dominus gives... Cloud of the Dominus is a little conditional. As long as enchanted creature is blue, it gets +1/+1 and has Shroud. As long as enchanted creature is red, it gives +1/+1 and has haste.
I should have read this card better because Diaochan's not blue.
Yes.
So one word.
Correct.
Could have sworn I said if it was red or blue or red, it got +1/+1.
But there are things
and
that you can
Shroud.
change colors.
There are.
Get a little more complicated that way.
There are other enchantments that just straight up give it Shroud. I chose this
Right.
one because it was both red and blue. I'm like, all right. There's like a blue one that's just like one blue, give it Shroud. I'm like, whatever, that works.
But yeah,
That's
then
one
you
of the
have
swords.
you have your swords, Sword of Fire and Ice, and Sword of War.
Which, other than the fact they give you protection from red, they just do good things that don't really.
+2/+2
Add.
and protection from red. So
Yeah.
Sword of Fire and Ice gives +2/+2 protection from red and blue. Sword of War and Peace is +2/+2 and protection from red and white.
Yeah.
But the other ability,
They're kind of irrelevant because they're when they deal combat damage and you're tapping Diaochan creatures.
right?
So it doesn't really matter.
But you could always flip them over to another creature if you need to.
That is true. Once you get more than one, you can put them on another creature, and then they like draw you cards, deal some damage. They do good universal stuff, but
Right.
they're kind of boring abilities that are irrelevant to the whole concept of Diaochan. The final one is probably the worst. Oh, never mind. I thought this card was a lot worse.
No, I mean Dark Steel Plate gives is 3 mana for an equipment. It has indestructible, so they cannot destroy Dark Steel Plate. And it also says equipped creatures have indestructible, and its equip cost is 2. So
I could have sworn Darksteel Plate was much more expensive.
no, it's a good card.
I must be thinking of another card that like gives it indestructible, but I think it's like cost 6. I must be thinking of a different card.
That's possible. There's quite a few things.
I'm really confused. Anyway, Darksteel Plate, yeah, makes it indestructible.
But that only gets around its own ability, not other forms of removal.
Yeah, and it also means that whenever your opponent will always choose Diaochan anyway,
Right.
so it'll still get targeted, and you'll only kill one creature a turn, which
Right.
you don't want to do. You want to kill 2 a turn.
So you want to make Diaochan untargetable,
Yeah.
so that your opponent cannot waste that precious resource. Of course, your opponents could still be just like, I just keep picking the creature that was already destroyed. But hopefully you're playing with people who are more fun than that.
Or like they really want some third creature or second creature destroyed, and like I choose that. Why? Because I need that dead.
It's like, look, I'll pick something, and this is where table like talk comes into play.
This is where politics happens.
So it's like, all right, look, I'll pick you because I know you want to kill something, and I won't pick that something. In response, don't pick Diaochan.
If you pick Diaochan, I'm gonna be mad at you, and then I'm not gonna ever kill that. I'm giving you an opportunity to make the choices that you want me to make.
Right. It was like, I kill that, and you can kill that.
So, that's essentially all the cards I thought of. Like, you also want to run creatures that aren't always creatures,
Right.
like Angel Totem. Or what was
Oh
the
yeah.
one? The one
Angel's Tomb.
Angel's Tomb. That's the one Andrew mentioned. It's a 3-mana artifact. Whenever a creature enters battlefield under your control, you have it become a 3/3 until end of turn. So you have some creatures to swing in or block that won't be creatures when you go to activate Diaochan's
Right.
ability.
It's 3 mana, so you can drop it the turn before you cast Diaochan.
Yep. Diaochan into the battlefield. She doesn't have haste. Swing the angel for 3 in the air.
Right. But, so, here's a fun little fact about Diaochan that I don't know if you've thought of or not. Diaochan's ability is just a tap ability, so you can do it at instant speed. If you're controlling your opponent's turn, you can tap her ability, pick that opponent, and then you make the choice for them.
Yes, you do.
So if you've mind-slavered somebody, or if you've Emrakul'd somebody, you can say, alright, tap her, kill off that, and that.
That you could.
It's a really mana-intensive way to kill 2 creatures.
Yeah, like I'm using this Emrakul for no other reason than I want to kill those 2 creatures and not have a 13/13. Yeah. And now I want to talk about the part about Diaochan that I'm actually most excited to talk about because I didn't realize was a thing until right before I got here. So I did some Googling on Diaochan, and I found out that she is an actual person.
We should
history.
preface this by saying Portals was sort of a Chinese history set.
It was.
A lot of the cards from Portals had ties to Chinese legends and creatures. So it was sort of in that they drew from that.
It was kind of like Dynasty Warriors, where it is based heavily on actual Chinese history,
but
with
in no way really resembles
with
it.
a lot of mythological twists thrown into it. I don't know really anything about Chinese history, mythology, anything about it. I do know there are a lot of all the stories, history books, etc., are all mostly right, but all have a lot of weird, essentially magic thrown in there after the fact.
Right.
Anyway, I don't know anything about Chinese Chinese myth. I don't know if it's mythology or if it's just history.
It's a little bit of both for China, I think.
Maybe, I don't know.
A lot of their history is interwoven with their mythology.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot about it either.
Yeah, all I know is they treat it like a mix of both history or at least people don't at least Americans do who don't know anything about Chinese history.
So for all of our Chinese viewers out there, we're sorry. We're
one
stupid
of you.
Americans.
Anyway, if anyone is actually interested in this, all this information is essentially pulled from the Wikipedia page. And the Wikipedia page, apparently, according to the source, got it all from a novel called The Romance of 3 Kingdoms, which is a book that I actually heard of. I haven't read it, but I heard
It's also actually the subtitle of Portal. It's Portal 3 Kingdom.
Portal. The game?
No.
Oh, Portal the set.
Yeah, the set is actually called Portal 3 Kingdoms.
That makes sense.
So, I just shortened it to Portal because Portal 3 Kingdoms is a mouthful.
Yeah, and Portal 3 isn't coming out forever, let alone the expansion pack Portal 3.
Gonna hit you in the face.
Well, the second time you said it, I heard Portal 3 Kingdoms. Just
Right,
by the
no,
way
it's-
you said it,
It's
the way
like
I heard it.
It's like Kingdom Hearts
Yeah.
12 stuff.
Well, I'm gonna point out there are I think 15 Kingdom Hearts games, and we have yet to see Kingdom Hearts 3.
That's fair enough.
Anyway, Diaochan. So she was a real person in Chinese folklore. I'll use the word folklore. She
There
was a
we
real
go.
person, and I'm going to horribly paraphrase this story to like fit it down into a nice little edible chunk, bite size.
Editable chunk.
Aha, even better. Anyway, so Diaochan was a real person, and Diaochan and some guy named Wang Yun essentially like got together and said, "Hey, you know what we need? We need to kill the warlord, Dong Zhao. I'm sorry if I mispronounced. He was a tyrannical bastard. He needs to die. But we're just a bunch of schmucks. We can't kill this guy. He'll kill us back." So they had this brilliant idea. I'm like, I know. Wong is going to present Diaochan to this badass other warlord named Lu Bu, and be like, all right, then betroth them together somehow. I don't know how exactly that worked, but I assume it's like, here you go, here is a woman, you can marry her. Since China was kind of sexist like that, I assume that's happened.
Well, yeah, I assume that when Wang Yang wasn't her father,
I don't know who Wang was,
but I guess for something gave him the authority to.
Yeah, the Wikipedia page really just kind of said Wang was there. I don't.
Right.
They didn't. Well, at least the bit I read, like
So,
he wasn't. He didn't do anything other than he was just kind of in cahoots with her.
Yeah, for some reason he had this authority.
Yeah, and so like they betrothed Diaochan to Lu Bu, and essentially at the same time gave her as a concubine to the warlord Dong Zhao, causing a little bit of tension there. And so what Diaochan did is, she was apparently really, really pretty, and she used her beauty to essentially lie and seduce these two men. She was like, and at one point, the story says that, all right, Lu Bu climbed like, or snuck his way into Dong Zhao's home.
Yeah.
And like found Diaochan, and Diaochan was all like, oh, Dong Zhao is like forcing himself upon me, and I don't want this, and I love you, Lu Bu. And to prove it, I'm going to kill myself by throwing myself into the river or something like that. And Lu Bu was like, no, don't kill yourself. I believe you. I love you too. And they hugged. And then that's when Dong Zhao came home, saw them hugging, and was like, you. And then Lu Bu was like, crap, and he left. And, like, climbed over and got out of there. Dong Zhao was like, what the hell was that about? And he's like, oh, he just, and Diaochan was just like, oh, he just came in here and, like, forcibly grabbed me and hugged me, and I was so scared. I still love you, and I'll kill myself to prove it. And Dong Zhao was like, oh, no, don't worry about it. I believe you. I love you too. And because of manipulation like that, Lu Bu at one point just showed up, killed Dong Zhao. Dong Zhao's
advisor,
not advisor, but like followers in general.
Yeah.
Like they didn't give a specific one, or at least the Wikipedia page wasn't really specific. Like eventually Lu Bu was defeated and forced to retreat. I don't know if he was killed,
right?
but he was definitely removed from the picture.
Right.
And then Dong Zhao just went on with her day. The Wikipedia specifically says, like, we're not sure what happened to Dong Zhao.
Right.
Or, wow, Dong
Lu Bu.
Zhao. We're not sure what happened to Diaochan.
Ah.
She just kind of did stuff. We're not sure what happened to her, but
she was important here, and then outside of that, history doesn't care.
yeah, like she was done. She successfully killed off the warlord like she wanted.
Right.
And Lu Bu probably didn't want her anymore due to the fact that
either he was dead or exiled.
or he may have figured it out. Well, he was also a warlord. They were like rival lords or something. I don't know. And I loved finding out about this story, because that's exactly what her card does.
Yeah. It is very, very much like she risks being killed off herself.
Yep.
Every time her ability activates.
Yep. But she does it to herself.
Yes.
She risks having to kill herself in order to trick these two things into killing each other.
Right.
And that is exactly what she does. And not only that, but that's exactly what's going on in the art.
Yeah.
Because there's like her being like pretty as she does, and then like on each side there's like two men like watching her.
Yeah, and I think...
And I love that about this card.
Yeah, I would like to see another Magic set that draws from history and folklore again. They did it with Theros somewhat, but not to the same degree that they did it with Portal 3 Kingdoms.
I like the way they did it with, like, and I think they're going to do that with Amonkhet.
Yeah, probably.
They're going to keep it, like, based on, but not a straight rip from.
Right.
Like,
It's
Diaochan was a
probably
real
best.
person, or so was like King Makar. But King Makar wasn't a real person.
King
Makar was based
King
on
Midas.
King Midas.
Who
But
was King Midas actually a real person, or was he just a myth?
King Midas, I thought he was a real person.
I don't
the
remember.
gold touch was probably a myth. Probably, I say.
Probably.
I still believe in magic. Shut up.
Like, we don't know. We don't know.
Nonetheless, but like all this stuff is based on actual stuff, but not enough that way, like that it removes itself from like the magic universe.
It would just be interesting because, like, of all the like planes in the multiverse, we are one.
Yeah,
You could eat hamburgers,
I
drive in a car,
yeah, vehicles could come back here in America.
or don't go to America because it's boring.
Yeah, like there's nothing. Like there's no like I think of like creatures when I think of like places. Like if I go somewhere in a magic universe, like what creatures would I see? And it's like America, humans. I guess there'd be a lot of artifacts because we have a lot of technology.
Or you could go to the past.
Yeah, we could go somewhere interesting into the past, like China, which we've already done. We could go to
I want to go to
Egypt.
Russia, or Egypt would be good. I want to go to like historical Russia.
I know there's a lot
where
of cool,
everything was crap.
there was a lot of cool stuff going on in Russia, but I don't know any of it.
Yeah, me either.
All I know about the history of Russia is what I've seen in the Russia to the Tune of Tetris video.
As far as I can tell, that is entirely accurate.
It is, from what I hear. It's incredibly, shortened down, but
Right.
everything it says like happened.
All right.
But the only other thing I know about the history of Russia is a good hunk of Russia's history is exclusively a reoccurring tale of Russia trying to get warm water and nobody letting them. Everyone just is like, hey, I want to build a railroad here to get warm water, and everyone else is like, no, you're not allowed to have warm water.
Go away, Russia.
We need it. Just like, no. It's like, why? Because screw you, Russia. It's like, why? Why does everyone hate Russia?
Okay.
Anyway, I love Diaochan because she is really, 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 really well thought out.
Yeah. I think at one point they had Zodiac portals.
I know Zodiac, like, chicken is a card.
There's also Zodiac Dragon.
And there's probably Zodiac rat, boar, tiger, Zodiac dog, dragon, goat, horse. Yeah, they definitely all exist. They're mostly green, and the rat's black.
They're Jund.
I do distinctly remember when I went to Gen Con, there was one guy who had a Monty Python and the Holy Grail EDH deck.
Right.
And just at one point, he played Zodiac Chicken.
Right.
And he did something and made, like, the Zodiac Chicken, like, a 30. And, like, because he had no other targets for it. So he's like, I guess Zodiac Chicken's getting plus 29, plus 29. It was pretty awesome. Sorry, Zodiac Rooster.
Yeah.
My bad.
That's Planeswalk.
What? Oh. Planeswalk as the ability to walk planes, the land type, and not...
Right.
like Zodiac Chicken, the Planeswalker. What?
Zodiac Chicken. Planeswalk. It just exiled itself and gets out of there.
It's Norin, the Wary. The green version. It's funny because he's a chicken.
I think we're done here.
We are done here. Thank you for listening to Pick a Card, Any Card. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, or card suggestions, you can email us at
pacac.cast@gmail.com.
or you can leave them in the comments below.